Weiter. Maseches Bava Kama Daf Kuf Ches Amud Beis. Yeah. So, Tvau Bailim l'Shomer v'Nishba. Now the shomer was confronted by the Bailim. Where is my thing? He said, your thing was stolen, and I can swear to that. And you know what? He was right. We're talking here about the rare case of the person actually being honest, and the shvua was Nishba le'emes. So now you tell me, is the shomer still in the story? Does the shomer owe anything to the owner right now? Yes or no? The shomer right now, nothing, as Shlomo is telling us. No. Why? He was Nishba, and that's about it. Why? Because now he doesn't have to pay anymore. When he was Nishba, we believe the Shvua. What? Oh, the Hukara Ganev. Very nice. Now the Ganev was recognized, which means we don't know 100% sure it's the Ganev. Yeah, very good. Up until now, we didn't know it was Nignav. Very good, Yitzchak. We assumed so, and we believed the shomer. But you know what? The shomer was right, factually right, not just because of his shvua. Because 2 days later, we saw those very interesting candlesticks, very unique heirloom candlesticks, which I have. I saw it in the hands of the Ganev, not the shomer, but the one that he claimed was the Ganev. However, now we don't know that he's a Ganev with Adim. So it's for now. We assume he's the Ganev. We highly assume. Tov oy shomer. Now we want to nail down the who? The Ganev. We want the Ganev to give back the candlesticks because now the Ganev is playing shtick. The Ganev now wants to get out of our, out of our hands. Now the shomer chinam, who's out of the story already, he takes the Ganev to court. Wow. And he tells the Ganev, did you steal, let's say Akiva, did you steal Akiva's candlesticks from my house when I was guarding them? And then Vehoido, and then the Ganev admitted, big tears or small tears, I don't know, but he admitted that he stole it from the house of my shomer. Yeah, my name is Akiva. Hello, I gave my candlesticks to who? To Reuven. Now Reuven, it was stolen from Reuven's house by who? Of course, Shimon. And now Reuven, the shomer, the ex-shomer, now confronts Shimon and says, why did you steal Akiva's candlesticks? Something here doesn't work right. Yeah, okay. So that's what happened first. And then, you know what happened next? Tvau Bailim. Afterwards, I guess we're not so synchronized. The owner, which let's say is me, the owner went and also sued the Ganev. The Kofar, to the Bailim, he reacted differently. He actually denied everything. He denied all charges. The Vio Adim. But later on, the Bailim, I brought Adim, 2 witnesses that actually testified that he stole. Let's repeat quickly the story. My name is Akiva, hello, and I have very fancy, expensive candlesticks, $1 million, of course, many of them, and I gave the 2 candlesticks to Reuven to look after. Reuven is a trustworthy guy, really. He's doing it for free. Really nice guy, Reuven. Yeah, he learned in Kollel. And Reuven, miscan, from his house, he was stolen by who? By Shimon. Now, Reuven swore, the emes, it was stolen from my house, under oath in front of an open Torah scroll. And Reuven is right, it was stolen. You tell me, people, as Shlomo said, is Reuven part of the story? No, he's off the hook. He was swore, he's right, finished. Now we found Shimon, the Ganev, Mazel Tov, the polizai, they found Shimon, and now we're trying to nail down Shimon. So Reuven, the shomer, is now taking Shimon to Beis Din, the Ganev, and Shimon admits to him. Later on, the Bailim, I also take Shimon to Beis Din and make him shvua, and he refuses. To me, what does he do? He just doesn't cooperate. He's koifer, and then Adim came. Remember what is our story right now? What is the issue of the sugya? Kefel and chomish, right? There's no double payment of both together. Very good. Frag the Gemara the following question. If you follow very well, this guy of Shimon, there are 2 parts to his story. At the beginning, he admitted. So how much does he have to pay for admitting the false shvua? He has to admit what? He has to, the Tov Shomer V'hoido, he has to pay what? Chomish. And also later on, he has to pay kefel. Oh, do we say that there's no double payment of both kefel and chomish? Yes or no? Why not? Says the Gemara, I'll tell you what the question is, as I tried to hint to you many times already. Mi nifta haganev behodos shomer, oy loy nifta haganev behodos shomer, which means as follows. When the shomer, hodos shomer means, let's say on Sunday, the shomer took the thief to Beis Din, okay? You tell me, is this the business of the thief? Is this the business of the shomer? No. It's none of your, excuse my language, stupid business. That's what I would have said if I was a Ganev. Yeah, yet I admitted to you. But maybe admitting to an invalid, to an irrelevant tvia, you're not a baldin, maybe that's not called oido. Get me? So Mimela, when he admitted at the beginning to who? To the shomer, and that's just empty talk, because the shomer is just not part of the story anymore, because he already made the shvua and he can go home, drink his coffee, then maybe that oidah is not called a halachic valid oidah, not substantial. And therefore, when later on he actually was caught by Adim, when Adim came, then he should be paying kefal. Only when you have oidah, which is valid, which is good, that's called oidah, which would exempt you from the extra kefal. But hoidah, which is nothing, maybe does not exempt you from extra kefal. Let me give you another extreme example. Let's say some yachne yente, somebody it's absolutely none of his business, is making you shvua. A guy comes from the street, you barely know him, you saw him once, he lives in Ramah Chet, you saw him maybe once in your life, he comes to you and tells you, hey, make shvua, that these glasses are your glasses. Get out of my sight. And even if you do make a shvua that the glasses are yours, it's not a halachic valid shvua, because you're not responding to a real toiveh, to a real plaintiff. That's the question here. Do we or don't we say that his tvia of the shomer and the admittance of the ganev the first time, are they valid or not? Nafkamina would be that later on is chayv kefil, because Adim came when he actually spoke to the real owner, to the real boss. Does he or doesn't he have to pay kefil? Because do we or don't we say that the first oidah was valid or not valid? Omar Rove comes and reconciles, and Rove is going to surprise us. It's not so simple to say that the shomer is out of the story. Before we get to Rove's answer, I'll ask you a very, very cute, cool question. You tell me, people. Let's say my name is Akiva, and I have very fancy what? Very fancy candlesticks, $1 million each. Okay, and what about them? I gave them to the shomer. I told the shomer, Mr. Shomer, please be shomer on them. Please guard them and keep them and make sure that they behave nicely for a month, from Rosh Chodesh Sivan till Rosh Chodesh Amud. Okay, and he actually committed himself to look after them for the entire month. 2 weeks into the month, you know what happened? Stolen, theft, shvua stories, and then they found the ganev. Where should those candlesticks go now? Once we found it in the stash of the ganev, 2 weeks into the shemira, where do they go back to? Shomer. Eretz, as usual, says the right thing. If so, it's not so simple that the shomer actually is out of the loop. Because he's nishba means he doesn't have to pay, but it does not mean that he's out of the story. Get it? Now the Gemara will explain it, because his shemira may continue. 1 second. If you have a question, can ask it soon. Omarove says Rove like this. Even that's not so simple. Im be'emes nishba, if the shvua of the shomer chinam was correct, 100%, which means he said, I swear it was stolen from my house and it was out of my control. I locked the windows, I locked the door, I did the right thing, and it was stolen. A professional burglar came all the way from Harlem. I don't know. Then what? And he was right. Then says Rashi, you're an honest guy. I want to continue the shemira by you. So you're not out of the story. You still are part of the story. I want you to look after my heirloom candlesticks and continue the shemira. Because technically, I am still in Chutz La'aretz. I still want you to look after my candlesticks the 2 remaining weeks, as our colleague said, parrots. And in that case, the tvia of the shomer is valid, and therefore niftar ganev beoidas shomer. Then, if the ganev responded to the shomer In that respect, he's really potur, meaning his hoidah is a valid hoidah because the shemira goes on. The show is not over yet. Very good, and therefore it'd be potter from kefil later on if it did hoidah. Oh, let's say we find out that our cute little shomer, Mr. Reuven, is saying half the truth, which means it's true it was stolen from his house, and he never touched it, and he's a nice man, but he wasn't really a complete oinus. Really, yeah, he was a poshea. Really, he did not lock the windows so well. Really, he was drinking his coffee and me'ayin in the Heilige Facebook while really this was going on, which means that he actually lied, yeah, and not saying the real shavua. Then I would not like such a person to look after my candlesticks anymore. I would say, what? After 2 weeks, once you lied to me, let's end this ugly story, and the candlestick should go back to me, to my house, says the Bailim. In that case, lo niftar ganev v'dos shomer. In that case, the ganev is not, I would say, not answerable, is not responsible, is not accountable, doesn't have to answer to the shomer. Why? The shomer himself is a liar. So the shomer himself is not supposed to anyway keep looking after my candlesticks. In that case, we say, like Shlomo said, that the shomer is out of the story. And if the shomer makes somebody else do shvua, it's like yechniyante, making you make a shvua, which is completely irrelevant. That's a difference. Frag the Gemara, boy Rove. Rove has a question now. And sorry, you have a question? No, you good? Okay. Boy Rove asks Rove a question, mamish on what we just said now. Rove clarifies the point. Amud lishova b'sheker. Let's say the shomer, that shomer chinam was about to swear, to make an oath which later on was discovered as a lie. In other words, I asked him, Mr. Shomer Reuven, how exactly did the candlesticks leave your house? And he says, oh, I promise you, really, with all honesty, it was a complete honest. There's no way I could control it. I did everything with my ability, and he was about to swear on that. Okay, and other people told him, don't. His wife, or his Rebbe, or his children says, Daddy, don't do that. Courtroom drama. They did not allow him to do it, but he was about, the shomer was about to be nishba l'sheker. That doesn't exactly show you, yeah, that he's the greatest guy in the world. Mahu, what would be the halacha then? Which means, what are we talking about over here? We're actually asking a question here. When a shomer chinam was nishba l'sheker, really lied with an oath, with a shvua, then he broke the trust of the owner. And then the owner said, game over. Instead of you looking after it for months, it's been 2 weeks with you, now you lied, back to me. And you're out of the story, right? And if he was nishba emes, if he was a real nishba, so, oh, what an honest guy, please look after my candlesticks, continue the shemira, the show must go on. The question is, what happened if he was not truthful but wasn't lying? He was about to lie, l'sheker, and he didn't get there. You know, you see somebody about to eat chazir, and somebody stops him, not shidduch for my daughter, let's put it this way. He's about to have a cheeseburger, and then someone tells, not kedai. He listens, okay. He's not holding the best ruchnias in the world, yeah? And therefore, that's a question, teku. Oh, it's a question which remains with the teku, and you all know what's the result of teku in Choshen Mishpat. Rav Kahana matni hachi. This, all the above, is the way Rav Kahana learned the sugya. However, Rav Tavyumi matni hachi. Rav Tavyumi asked the question, the very similar question, in a different way. What's Rav Tavyumi's version? Boy Rove. Rav Tavyumi is learning Rove's words differently, and he asks like this: Nishba l'sheker ma'u teiku. Wow. Rove says that even if the guy, according to the new version of Rav Tavyumi, even if the shomer was nishba l'sheker, we're still not sure. Yeah, tvau v'nishba l'sheker. Even if he lied, we're not sure that the Baalim wants him to stop. Maybe he's giving him a second chance. He's a great shomer. He's the only option in town. He's a good guy generally. Maybe you'll forgive him that he had one slip and he was nishba l'sheker, and you still want to continue the shemira. That could be. It's a teku. It's a question. Now, one more question in that respect. No. Now comes the opposite case. Yeah, you can ask questions now. It's a good time for questions. 1 second, please. Let me look at something. Yes, I am with you, people. Remember that it's very confusing. That word tzva'u, we are in the first tzva'u. Yeah, boy rove, we just finished that line, and we're about to start the end of line that starts with tzva'u, and that will be after commercials. Yes, please do drink Coke if you want to die early. 1 second, we are answering here. Weiter. Boy rove. Okay, now, sorry, sorry, I got confused. Tva'u bailim now is the opposite case. Tva'u bailim, the bailim, they now confronted, that's a new story, fresh story, which is just the opposite. What we're going to see now is a mirror image of what we saw before. It's going to be much easier now because you're trained already. Tva'u bailim, the owner is now confronting the shomer. Mr. Shomer, where are my candlesticks? It's been already, 2 weeks. I want to check up on that. The hoido, and he admitted what? No, sorry. Sorry. I knew I'm going to get confused there. Sorry. There are two tva'us, one on top of the other, the end of the lines. It's the first one. Sorry, my mistake. Apologize. Tva'u bailim l'shomer. The bailim came and confronted the shomer. Where are my candlesticks? The shilem. Now, just to ease your pain and not get into trouble, the shomer is such a good guy. He paid instead of swearing. He could have sworn because it's shomer chinam. Yeah, he's the guy who spoke about yesterday. He's such a super good guy, although he could have said, I swear, and he would be right. It was really stolen from his house. He's right. And what? He paid instead of taking a shvuat bipat. What a good guy. Very nice. The hooker ganav. Now the ganav was recognized. The ganav was found, in his dirty stash in the end of town. They found those candlesticks, the police light blinking. Hooker ganav. Tzva'u bailim. Now you tell me who's out of this story now? The bailim or the shomer? The bailim. Mr. Bailim, you got your money. I don't say bad words. Close your mouth. Yeah, in other words, the bailim got his money. The candlesticks are worth what? 2,000 shekels? He has 2,000 shekels. Buy new ones to your wife, right? And now the shomer, if anybody now is in the business of claiming, is who is a shomer. The shomer lost 2,000 shekels out of his pocket because being nice. And the shomer has every right in the world to sue the ganav. I paid because of your gneva, Mr. Ganav. And you know what happened? Tzva'u bailim. The bailim, the owner, which is now out of the story, they sued the ganav. The hoido, and the ganav admitted to them that he stole. And then just the opposite from before, the second person to come and sue him, Bo Shomer. The shomer now came, and the shomer, it's his business. He's now suing the ganav. Where are those candlesticks which I know are by you? And I had to pay 2,000 because of you. The kofar, he lied to him. The ganav lied to the shomer, and he denied everything. However, the heavy edim, a diligent shomer had edim. Later on came edim that proved, that testified that the ganav stole the candlesticks. Frek the Gemara, nifter ganav b'das bailim? Oiloi. Do we now say that the original hoidah of the ganav to the bailim, is it valid or invalid? Is it relevant or not? Which is nafkamina for the kefal. If we say that really that hoidah is a valid hoidah, then later on you don't pay kefal. Because once you pay chomesh, you don't pay kefal. But if the hoidah to the bailim is empty talk, then there's no hoidah. Then you do pay kefal for the second declaration. And the Gemara is going to elaborate on that. Mi amrinan, how do we look now at the status of the bailim? I said that the bailim, and that's what you guys said, out of the picture, Mister, he got you 2,000 shekels. Close your mouth. Mi amrina, do we say that? Matzi omer l'shomer lebailim. The shomer can tell the bailim. By the way, I didn't explain it. I don't know if you made the cheshbon. The shomer is losing here because of the bailim's interference. You know why? If the bailim's claim is a real claim, and when the ganav admitted to the bailim, yes, I did it, I'm so sorry. Later on, when the ganav confronts him, will say the debt, and the edim came, he does not have to pay kefal. The shomer is losing. You guys all knew it. I was very impressed with you yesterday. Everybody here knew about the Mishnah and the Mafkid, that if a shomer decides to pay and not to swear, he gets the kefal. He gets the double portion. Now you, bailim, if you're now interfering and you make his hoidah invalid, so the kefal which I should have get is not going to give me. That's the subtext over here. So do we say it's relevant, the tvia of the bailim, or not? Let's read again. And shall we say, matzi, matzi means he can. Matzi omar l'shomer lebailim, can the shomer tell the owner, atun, you, speaking in plural, kevin the shakil to lechu dami, you took your money, which I very kindly gave you, being super nice to you, istalkisu lechu me'ocho, what's lehistalek? Out of the story. You're misalak already. You go away. You're out of the story, and don't start bothering my case. Yeah, my litigant. Because why? You're out of the story because I gave you the money, and therefore he did to you is irrelevant. Or maybe now it's not so simple. Matzi amri lei. Maybe the owner can tell the shomer, we are not completely out of the story, Mister. Why not? Just like you did me a favor, says Rashi. Milsa means something. You means favor. You're so nice to me. You gave me the 2,000 cash, although you didn't have to. And now nami of dinalach, I also do a favor to you. I will now be toreach. I'm helping you to chase the thief. I'm playing cops and thief for you because I still feel obligated because you gave me the money, and I'm still part of the story to do a favor back to you. And you know what we're going to do when we're going to find the thief? Shakalna anan didan, bishkol at didach. I'll take my part, you take your part. What do you mean I take my part, you take yours? Say the Achronim quoting the Rambam actually. At the end I didn't see this Rambam. I was going to see the Rambam inside. I saw the Rambam quoted at the end of the Gemara. It says like this: when he gave me the actual 2,000, I am not so happy with. I'm very, very grateful. Don't give me faces. Such a nice guy. But I really like, my wife really likes to light with the Alta Bubis candles. I want the original. So if we find the candlesticks, the original ones in the house of the Ganav, according to the Rambam and other Rishonim, you know what's going to happen now? I, the owner, will get the original piece of heirloom candlesticks to me, and I'll give you, the shomer, back the cash, and you will get the kefil from the Ganav. The 2,000 that they're worth, you'll get an extra 2,000 from the Ganav, the shomer will get, unless he was messed up because of the Shvua Noido. But Me'ikar Adin, that's what's supposed to happen. Me'ikar Adin. Therefore, don't tell me that I'm so out of the story. I'm still 1 foot inside because I want the original. First of all, you did me a favor, and that favor makes me obligated to want to help you chase the Ganav because now you're stuck with the minus of 2,000. Secondly, I also have a say here. I have a foot in the door because I really still have a big Yetzer Hara, quote unquote, to get the original candlesticks if they're still around and get them and pay you the cash and reorganize everything. So maybe I'm not completely out of the story, even though I have 2,000 cash in my pocket. So what's the halacha? Imagine what's the halacha? Teiku. Again, it's a teiku. Who? Everyone's screaming together. What? They're not splitting the kefel. No. No. The owner, no. The shomer is, because the shomer opted for paying and not swearing. The shomer was so beautifully behaved, and the shomer decided that's the first mission and the third perek of Metzia. The shomer who could have been off the hook and exempt by Shvua and chose not to be nishva and yes pay, he gets a prize. Whoever behaves gets a prize. It's not a prize, no. He actually acquired, with that payment, he acquired the rights over the kefil. And if they find the Ganav, he, meaning the shomer, will get the kefil. Now, over here, we have a question because maybe those were done before, but that's the actual normal case. Yeah, the kefil, of course. Well, I mean, what do you mean? Story. Itmal. Yeah, Itmal, line starts at, and we are in Itmal. Itmal is always Machloekes Amorim. Itmal is always prefacing Machloekes Amorim. That's what I was taught by Chavrusa, Reb Berman. Nigneva be'oines. Yeah, Nigneva be'oines, which means what? It was really, really an oines. It was stolen in a way that was way out of control. Now, oines, welcome to Mr. Shomer Sachar. Oines is the highest level of unable to control what's going on, and both shomer chinam and sochor potter on that. There are 3 levels. There's pshia, everyone's chayav on that, negligent, Gneva Vaveda is a gray area of half negligent, half not. That's chinam is potter, socher is chayev. And oines, everyone is potter. Oines, a big lion came out of nowhere. He was sitting in a normal Western country, grazing, shepherding someone's flock. And a lion, who'd imagine a lion, came from nowhere, ran away from the zoo, and he hopped the sheep. That's for sure. Oines, everyone is potter on oines, chinam and socher. And he was nigdav be'oines, and that was true. It was really stolen be'oines. Nobody's lying. That was the fact. The hooker haganev. Now the ganev was recognized. Hey, Mr. Ganev. Yeah, he was not a lion. He was a ganev who came. And what was his ganev? Listim mezuyan is an armed robber. An armed robber, in front of a gun. What am I going to do? An armed robbery is gneva, complete oines. He stole, but he robbed it like that. Well, what can I do? Then the ganev was recognized, and he was in the police, and that profile pictures over there. Now, who wants to take him to Beis Din? Amar Abaye, says Abaye, im shomer chinamu, if the shomer is a shomer chinam, rotze oise imoy din, rotze nishba. Then he has two options. The ganev was found. Now the shomer chinam can do one of the two. Either the shomer chinam didn't yet pay, it didn't yet swear. Nothing was yet done. We found the ganev, before the shomer was confronted by the bailim. Get me? In other words, everybody knows what happened. The bailim, the owner of the candlesticks, that's me. I didn't yet talk legally. I wasn't yet in court or anything with the shomer. And already we found the thief. The police in this country works very quickly. They found, right, everyone can laugh. Now the candlesticks were found. Now the question is, what should the shomer do if the ganev was found already now? He has two options, says Abaye. Im shomer chinamu, if he's a shomer chinamu who's less committed, then he has one of two options. Rotza oisa imoy din. He can either pay the bailim the 2,000 shekels and take the candlesticks to himself. Yeah. Let's say the bailim doesn't want the candlesticks. I'm not so interested in them. That's not an issue. Or let's say we talk about cash. Let's from now on not talk about candlesticks, not to confuse you. It was actual cash. 2,000 shekels in a green envelope with blue polka dots. That was 2,000 shekels. Now, they're found. The shomer now is given two options in halacha according to Abaye. Either he can pay 2,000 to the owner and now sue the ganev and break his head. The shomer should now do din and take the ganev to court. Rotza nishba. Or if he wants, he can swear le'emes. It was really an armed robbery, and I'm out of the picture, and you, Mr. Owner, should directly confront the ganev, and I'm out of the picture. I swear that I was a good boy, and he was an oines, not out of my control. These are the two options. So far, it's not even such a great chiddush. You look return or continue. In shomer sacharu, now comes the big bomb. Here comes a big bomb. Ooh, I fell off my chair. 1 minute. In shomer sacharu. But if the shomer is the paid one, which is more obligated, oise imodin ve'eino nishba. Wow. Although a shomer sachar usually can swear and say it was oines, and it was, and get out of the story and off the hook, if the ganev was already found, and all you need to do, listen carefully, is take the ganev to Beis Din, then the shomer sachar's obligation is not yet over. And then the bailim can say, no, don't be nishba to me. Continue your shemira through you now taking and dragging the ganev to the court and pay me the money. You, Mr. Shomer Sachar, the ganev is already halfway there. We know who he is. You can take him to Beis Din, you shomer. Because you Shomer Sachar, you're more obligated to me. Pay me now. I want to be out of the story. I paid you good money, mister. I want to get my 2,000 shekels now, cash, bank transfer tomorrow. And the ganev, you're Shomer Sachar, it's not your fault. I know it's not your fault. But the Lemaisa, now you, Mr. Shomer Sachar, should go chase the ganev. Not chase, we know who he is. We know who the ganev is. Go take him to Beis Din and retrieve the 2,000 from him. That's Abaye, and I'll be with you in a minute. Rava Omar, Rava is making the chiddush, is heightening the level of chiddush. Rava argues on Abaye, and Rava says, Echad zeh ve'echad zeh, both chinam and socher, even shomer chinam, don't faint. Oisei modin ve'enu nishba. Wow, Wow. Says the Rove, any shomer, even a shomer chinam, once the Ganav is in the picture, he's in our radar, and he lives here in town. I'm making it a little bit easier to understand. We found the Ganav. He's a regular nice guy. He moved yesterday from Wisconsin. Everyone thought he's such a good guy. And we found that he's the Ganav. All we need to do is take him to Beis Din, which is not an easy process. But we know who we're dealing with. Says in that case, says the owner to the shomer, any shomer, your shemira is not over. I know it wasn't your fault. You're a good guy. I'll be mamlitz to you for shidduchim and for schools. But lemaisa, since the Ganav is within your reach, in your radar, mimela, you pay me now. I don't want the headache. I paid you, or even if I didn't pay you. Wow, according to Rava. You are a shomer, continue your shmira by paying me, and you chase the Ganav, not chase. You sue the Ganav, you drag the Ganav to court and get the 2,000 back from him. That's what Rava believes. The only argument between Abba and Rava is one, shomer chinam. Both Abba and Rava agree that a shomer sachar continues his obligation and has to deal with the Ganav after paying the money straight to the owner. The mechlokes is the shomer chinam, which, as I just told Jeff a few minutes ago, is less obligated. In that case, says Abba, listen, the shomer chinam is less obligated. So he will just say, Shavua, I'm out of the story. I don't want to take him to Beis Din. I have a school meeting tomorrow, says the guy. And Rava says, even a shomer chinam is obligated to the level of looking for the thief, of not looking, we know the thief is, of taking the thief to court and pay right away before that to the owner. Yes. Baruch hagever asher yiftach b'Hashem. Weiter was a joke, by the way. Okay, weiter. What? Right. Okay. Yes. Now, weiter. Says the Gemara. Lema pliga da Ravuna bar Avin. Do we say the Rava, what we just said now, argues on Ravuna bar Avin? What did Ravuna bar Avin say? The Sholach Ravuna bar Avin. Ravuna bar Avin sent a letter. Nigneva be'oines. Mamish our case. An item, let's say an animal, was stolen be'oines, forcefully, out of control. The shomer chinam sachar are potter. They're exempt as of now. But hey, 2 meters away from your house is where the Ganav was. And we recognized him, and here he is. But he has to be taken to Beis Din, not cooperating. Im shomer chinam hu. If it's a shomer chinam hu, now shomer chinam, like Abaye. Shomer chinam is less obligated, less committed. Rotza oisei modin, rotza nishba. The shomer chinam has both options. Either the shomer chinam would pay the money and chase the Ganav to court, take him to court, or the shomer chinam can say, I know we found the thief, but I'm a shomer chinam. I'll just swear the truth, and it is the truth, and get out of the story. You, Mr. Owner, you deal with each other directly with the Ganav, direct line. However, being shomer socharu, or higher level, red alert level of obligation, then we tell the shomer sochar, it's not over till it's over. You have to give money, cash, to the owner. You now take the Ganav to court. It's still under your achrayas, and I don't want to hear your shvuas now, which means exactly like Abaye against Rava. Basically, huge support for Abaye against Rava. Are you saying, Rava, are you really arguing on Ravuna bar Avin? Is he really on Abaye's side and not in your side? Amalach Rava, no. Says Rava, I have a way to learn Ravuna bar Avin, which will fit my pshat also. I can reconcile it. What? You know the story is of Ravuna bar Avin, Kigon shekodem v'nishba. It's kodem v'nishba, which means I prefaced it and I told you this whole story is very nice before the shomer was nishba or paid. The shomer didn't yet decide if to pay or to swear. It was very fresh news, and the Ganav was caught before the shomer reacted one way or another. Then Rava says, I'm right. In this case, we say that the shomer was already nishba. Once the shomer is nishba, he has no choice to. We're not going to tell him undo your shvua and pay the shomer china because it was already nishba. Then even Rava, would agree. Once shomer china was nishba, we don't unravel his shvua and make him pay. Not. Only before his nishba, say, hey, wait a minute, you're not yet nishba. You're not yet nishba. Hey, I'm seizing the moment. And the Ganav was found before your nishba. Don't be nishba. Pay me because you're not yet. But once he's nishba, he's in safe haven of Shvua, and even though the Ganav was caught, he's completely out of the picture. Shvua closes the book on him completely, even according to Rava. And that's what Ravuna bar Ravin meant. Correct the Gemara, that's a very nice answer, but it doesn't fit the words of Ravuna bar Ravin. Rabbi bar Ravin said he can either pay or he can swear. Mashma didn't yet swear. The words of Ravuna bar Ravin is he can either pay or he can be nishba. Mashma, there was no shvua yet. Answers the Gemara, that's what he means. Rotze shomer chinam oimed b'shvuasoi, rotze oisei modin. A shomer chinam can either oimed b'shvuasoi stand and continue his old shvua. There was nishba before, or if he wants, he can pay the money. If he wants, but we can't force him to pay after he was nishba. To force, of course not. It should be voluntary. Comes the Gemara with the end of the story here. Rabba Zuti, Rabba Klein, Rabba the small one, I don't know who he is and what he means, but Rabba the younger, asked the following question. Bai lahochi, he had the following question. Nigneva be'oines, also to do with when does the shemira finish? When is it over? We are 3 lines before the Mishnah. Nigneva be'oines, an animal was stolen be'oines, armed robbery. The Ganav had feelings of remorse, and the Ganav now returned it to the shomer. The Ganav returned it to the house of the shomer. Okay. The Mesa B'Pshia. Later on, let's say 2 weeks into the shemira session, there's a shemira session of a month that he's committed. Okay. 2 weeks into the shemira session, there was this whole big story, but then he was okay. He was stolen 1 o'clock at night. Morning after, he was back to the shed, back to the house of the shomer. Now, a week after that, startling, air pocket in the middle of the flight, in the middle of this, a week later, the shomer himself was drinking his coffee, looking intensely into the machshir, and what? And negligent, completely negligent, and the animal was stolen. What's going to be the halacha? What's a question? Says the Gemara, Mahu, what's the story? Miamrinan, shall we say, Keva de Nigneva be'oines, once it was stolen be'oines, Kali leshmirosoi, not like we said before. Maybe once it was stolen be'oines, like you guys were thinking all along, once stolen be'oines, and he's a shomer chinam or sochar, he's out of the story and completely out of the shemira, and the shemira session really was over once it was stolen. The Ganav was a nice guy and gave it back, but the shemira does not continue automatically. And therefore, when the sheep is in the house of the shomer, it's, so to speak, illegally there. It's not officially, formally there under shemira, because the shemira was over once it was stolen be'oines, and the shomer is out of the story. Different to what we said before. And therefore, although he was poshea, he's patur. You know, he's patur because he's not obligated to look after it anymore. He's not mechuyev because the shemira session was over. He's not a nice guy that is drinking the coffee while the animal was running around and being stolen. But Lamais is not mechuyev because his voluntary session was abruptly, informally, but practically was over. He's not mechuyev anymore. Or dilma, or maybe, 1 second, or maybe more like we said all along, kevan dehodora. Once it's back to the flock, back to the house, back to the cow shed, automatically it's automatically back to the shemira. He was out for a few hours by the Ganav, back to the flock. Maybe the shemira goes on automatically. Session uninterrupted, interrupted, but automatically continues like Zoom in its good days. Teiku. That's the question. Once there was a ptul, does that automatically end the shemira? And now you have to renew it. If you didn't renew your subscription, Mr. Owner, I'm not mechuyev to you. Why did I drink my coffee and looked at my thing? Because I feel like I'm not mechuyev to your behemoth anymore, or to you. Or do we say no? Or do we say, okay, there was a theft, but there was return. Once returned, automatically it returns to the shemira. That's a shaila and it's a teiku. And therefore it's mechuyev, it's a teiku. The pshia, sorry, it died because of she not stolen the second time. Okay, it doesn't make a big difference, but thank you. I appreciate the correction. The second time, while he was drinking his coffee and looking at the thing, the animal was very sick. It didn't tend to the animal. He should have called the veterinarian, should have told the bailim, and the animal died without his shemira. It was very negligent about itself. Or a lion came, not a lion, or a cat came, and he could have avoided the cat from coming, shooing it away. The cat killed the sheep, and it's his fault that he died with Pshia. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much.